of PSG, Wolfsburg, Real Madrid and Juventus are already in the mix. One of these two sides will join them in the next stage. Arsenal will certainly fancy their chances after hitting 6 past Rangers here just 3 nights ago. But Rosenborg are hopeful of another big upset after knocking out Atletico on penalties. It's sure to be an action-packed evening, and I'm delighted to say that 2007 Champions League winning defender Jilly Flaherty is alongside me. Jilly, it's a night of enormous pressure for Arsenal, but that win over Rangers was probably the perfect blueprint of just how to deal with those nerves, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was a great start for Arsenal, especially after last season as well, if they had such a bad start in the Champions League. So yeah, to have a fantastic result like they did the other night sets the tone, and they should be full of confidence coming into this game.
We know all about Arsenal's strength and depth as well, but Jonas Eidevall tonight has gone for an unchanged 11, so maybe that suggests that he's starting to work out his strongest side ahead of the new season.
Yeah, and I think with Arsenal, listen, I think over the course of the seasons previously, they've always had a good, strong, say, 11, but it's when those injuries have started to happen, they haven't really embedded the players. So, yeah, I think it's no surprise that he's had an unchanged side, and like I said, they had a great result when he's setting them up ready for this game.
So another big 90 minutes of fast approaching for these two sides. Arsenal will certainly feel fresher than Norwegian counterparts, having eased to a dominant 6-0 win over Rangers on Wednesday evening. Rosenborg, however, went the full distance in a physically and emotionally draining encounter with Atletico. Both sides have, though, fallen at this qualifying hurdle in the last 3 seasons. However, they do share an impressive history in this competition. Back-to-back quarter-finalists between 2001 and 2003. Arsenal and Rosenborg, then known as Trondheimsson, also reached the 2005 semi-finals. But while the Gunners went on to lift the trophy just 2 seasons later, the Norwegians have failed to qualify for the competition proper in 19 years. It's something which they've been talking about a lot this week, about what a great opportunity this is. The last time that they were involved in the competition qualifiers was a couple of seasons ago, where they were cruelly knocked out by Real Madrid in the second stage of qualifying. Make no mistake, this is a huge opportunity for both of these sides tonight, and one which I'm sure will go on to shape their respective seasons. Two relatively young head coaches in the dugout tonight. Jonas Eidevall for Arsenal, Robin Schroet for Rosenborg. In fact, we have the rare Champions League novelty this evening of a Scandinavian managing a London club and a Londoner in charge of the Scandinavian side. Well, here's a look at the teams. And Jonas Eidevall, as far as he is concerned, it was a near perfect outing last time out, so he is unchanged from Rangers. Caitlin Ford hit 4 goals from the right-hand side on Wednesday evening. Summer arrival Mariona looked to be a revelation on the left. The only change to the squad sees Beth Mead return from a slight groin concern. Steph Catley is still missing with a minor muscular injury. It's worth bearing in mind as well, following the rout of Rangers here a few nights ago, Arsenal are now just 3 goals shy of hitting 300 under Jonas Eidevall. For Robin Schroet, well, he insists that the short turnaround time won't be an issue for his young squad, but he has made 2 alterations to his starting 11 this evening. Experienced Champions League defender Hannah Dahl comes in at left-back. Rebecca Hoolam, who equalised against Atletico on Wednesday, starts in attack. There are many bright talents dotted around the Norwegian side squad, but please do keep a close eye on 15-year-old Kana Serdal on the bench. The teenager, I hate to make you feel old here, Gilly, became the first Champions League debutant to be born after Arsenal lifted the trophy back in 2007.
Let's not speak about my age, please, Max. And I've always felt like I was a young top, but then when youngsters are coming in like that, yeah, it does hit home. The age is creeping up on me.
So there, Kim Little just through her usual pre-match team talk with the rest of the Arsenal players. Her penalty on Wednesday evening was her 43rd Champions League goal. It pulls her level with current Chelsea assistant manager Camille Avili. Only 5 players have ever scored more in the competition's history. So Arsenal in their traditional red and whites, and it's a change of strict for Rosenborg. Teams will progress from today's finals across the Champions and League pathways to join the clubs beginning at the next stage, which include PSG, Wolfsburg, Real Madrid, Manchester City and Roma. One of these 2 sides will go into the hats for Monday night's draw. He's forwards, the 4-goal hero in her last outing. Little to flip that one over the head of Alien Saru. First glimpse of Mariona for the evening. Brings it back off McCabe with the right-footed attempt. It's not her strongest side. And I think the smile gives away that she probably felt she could have done better.
Yeah, okay, McCabe there on her right foot. Really good play though from McCabe to be able to come up and join. Obviously last season she was flirting with a little bit of left back and going up to right back, and then we see her going up as well at the left wing. So really good from her to see her being able to bomb forward from that left back position.
Starting to see as well the start of this blossoming partnership between her and Mariona on the left-hand side. It'll be interesting to see. Mariona, we know, loves to cut in field, which opens up the opportunity for McCabe to do what she loves as a winger.
Yeah, and I think it's hugely important. I think it's that consistency that's needed. Obviously, Kathy's out at the moment, obviously with a slight injury, but it's about having that consistency. And if Mariona does come inside, then that allows Kate McCabe to drive forward.
There is Mariona. Saw that move a couple of times on Wednesday from Leah Williamson, a long diagonal switch to find the Spaniards. Arsenal picking up exactly where they left off on the front foot. Rosenborg are 19 games into their domestic season. It's been pointing that out. They are 3rd in their division, 17 points behind Vålerenga, who have really gone up through the gears in these past few campaigns, that's for sure. So in theory, they should be more up to match sharpness, but as mentioned, a bit of fatigue may creep in following the immense effort that they went to overturn the game against Atletico on Wednesday. Williamson again, just one over the top. And Fox took her eye off it. Really needs too much of an invitation to go forwards, enjoying her first Champions League campaign, of course, since joining the club in January.
Yeah, coming off the back of a solid Olympics as well, with a nice gold medal in her pocket too. But I think she's been huge for Arsenal since she signed for them. And I think also Williamson coming back in, you've seen them diagonal balls on opposite sides and opening up. It's something that Arsenal was lacking when she was out injured.
This corresponding fixture that she had to watch last season from the stands, Leah Williamson. She suffered that ACL. She missed out on the qualifying campaign, didn't return, of course, until January. She's played a big part in this particular campaign already. Here's Cooney Cross. Rousseau. Plenty of numbers back in the black shirts of Rosenborg. And it was Mariona's ball, which was easily claimed by Rushil Rulita. Goalkeeper, still just 22, so 2 penalties in the shootout win over Atletico. Cooney cross. Now Little. Tonta clears the lines. She was the other goal scorer with Rebecca Hula. 105th minute strike, which looked to have gifted Rosenborg the lead after extra time before they conceded that goal in the 119th minute to take that game to penalties. Here's a look at Robin Schultz, 36-year-old manager, who's a former striker. Came through the Wimbledon Academy, where he was released when he was 16 years old, as Manu Zinsberger deals with that one. McCabe. And then Mariona again. Head down into the area. It's Mariona! Not too far away from her first Arsenal goal.
You're seeing the link-up play there again from McCabe. Great through ball there. I mean, starts driving at defence, cuts inside on her right foot. Be interested to see from the other side how close she actually was. She didn't look too far away. So confident enough to drive in. It's a positive start for Mars as well, especially down that left-hand side.
That's where they inflicted most of the damage on Wednesday evening against Rangers, the Gunners. It's interesting to hear what Jonas Eideveld said after the game about preparing for the next opponent when there's such a quick turnaround. He said, well, look, we had two folders. We had file A and we had file B, depending on whether it was going to be Atletico or Rosenborg. I do wonder whether Rosenborg thought that far ahead and whether indeed they ever thought that it might have been Rangers that they faced in the next round.
I think they probably would have been expecting something drastic would have happened for Arsenal not to get through that stage, that game against Rangers. But yeah, most managers would say they just prepare for one game and then they'll take whoever comes next.
Here's Fox. Williamson uses Maya Codina. Little. Arsenal having to be patient. There is a large Norwegian wall in the way, although they've managed to work their way behind. Now McCabe wanted a penalty there. It may perhaps have been a bit soft. Nikolina Diakov is tonight's Polish referee. She shook her head at the appeals.
I think McCabe was just felt that she was being held there. Obviously, you know what McCabe wants to do. She wants to cut back inside. Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think that's a penalty. I think there's a little bit of contact, but I think McCabe sort of just makes the most of it to try and win the penalty in the politest way.
Certainly won't deter her from going forwards. She is hugging that touchline. Here she is again, McCabe. A lovely bit of one-touch play with Mariona.
It is really good link-up play from them, but what they've got to try and do now when they get into that position, they've got to try and beat the first player at the near post, because Rosenborg are really trying to build around that area to stop them deliveries coming in.
Really struggling to get out of their own half at the moment, the Norwegian side. Williamson. Towards Russo, trying to turn under pressure, and Williamson will be able to get there to snuff out the danger. Just ahead of Emily Mountainess. Fox. Again, almost every Rosenborg player inside their own penalty area for that particular attack, and it was an inviting cross by Leah Williamson there. Arsenal players are gathered around the far posts, but no one could get on the end of it.
Yeah, really good delivery from Leah Williamson. It's good because she mixed up the delivery and the angle of that delivery. Obviously, Fox went in. We see obviously Marion on the left-hand side, Kate McCabe on the left-hand side as well. Their delivery's coming in where they're near the byline, but Leah Williamson has joined in. Her delivery's coming from a deeper area. And obviously he's trying to bend it around the defence, which is always a difficult one to deal with.
Ford sits it down under pressure. Selma Magnus-Dottir, one of the few players in a Rosenborg shirt who isn't Norwegian. Touched downfield by Cooney Cross. Ford unable to get there, but that is an example of what Kyra Cooney Cross can add to the midfield.
Yeah, really good footwork there as well. Positive. Skips past a couple of players. It's just that final ball then out to Ford. Just puts too much in it for her to find it hard to control.
It is a sellout at Meadow Park this evening, just as it was in midweek. To Matilda Harbeeken, the captain for Rosenborg. It's better play by the visitors. Markson for Buddha on the right-hand side. Uses the decoy. Markson again. Oh, delivered near post. It wasn't the worst pass in. Magnus was sniffing around. Zinsberger had to be alert.
Yeah, Zinsberger does well there because I think that's probably something that she lacked last season, and when the ball was coming across that 6-yard area in dealing with it and being confident and claiming it. So I think obviously it's an early start, but it's good for her to set that tone straight away in dealing with those crosses.
The Austrian again. He's twice reached the Champions League semi-final, once with Bayern back in the 18-19 season. Barcelona defeated them on that occasion, and then of course with Arsenal back in 2023, and it was a game against Wolfsburg. Should be desperate to go one step further, but of course Arsenal can only beat what's in front of them and can only take these games one at a time. And at the moment, Rosenborg are, I wouldn't say frustrating them, but they've set up very defensively, and Arsenal struggling to find a way through.
And I think it's a good test for Arsenal in that sense, because a lot of teams in the WSL are probably going to do exactly the same. It's about being able to break them down and find a way past that low block.
Corina. From McCabe, who fancied an early ball into the channel for Russo. We know that she loves to offer that as an option. Rosenborg just starting to creep back into the game. No, just as I say that, they give possession away. They were looking slightly more assured in their passing. It was a slightly rushed clearance. Mariona. Fox striding forward again on this near side. That's a good ball in too, and Russo just couldn't climb high enough. And Rosenborg will clear.
I'm just looking up then when Fox got the ball, and I was thinking she's going to hit the ball into the box, but there's only Ford was standing in there, and obviously then you've got Russo, which is so important. Whoever does that back post player, we see it obviously against Rangers with Ford coming in the back post, the goals that she popped up with. It's so important if you are going to whip them balls in that you have more than one runner in there.
Arsenal just asserting a bit more authority. Here's Mariona now. Morgan was looking for the return pass, able to get there ahead of Magnus Dottir. Little leaves it for Russo. Russo on the turn. First sight of goal. A feet at least for Alessia Russo. Certainly starting to come into the game a lot more.
Yeah, and I mean, coming up against Russo, I know exactly this is what she wants to do. She wants to pin you, she wants to spin you, and just try and get that 1-2 yards away just to be able to get the strike. But Thompson does really well there to stay tight to her.
Good cross. And Williamson invited to step out of defence. Ford. Williamson inches ever that bit closer to the edge of the Rosenborg penalty area. It is a very well-drilled Norwegian defensive line. They've kept 7 clean sheets this season, including a run of the first 5 games at the start of the campaign, finally conceding in match day 6. They have only lost 6 of their 20 games across all competitions this season, Rosenborg. However, 5 of those defeats have come in their last 9 games, so slightly slipping in terms of form. They have only been narrow defeats. Robin Schroet certainly has them well drilled. Here's Seri. Again, can't keep it in play. Fox. Very quickly closed down by Nautness. She moves forward with her. Little. Williamson, perhaps a crossing opportunity for her. Arsenal looking to force it just yet. Has allowed the visiting side to get all of their players back behind the ball once again. Just had a bit more of a congested feel to that midfield. As you can see, Frida Mornan really struggling to get herself on the ball at the moment. Williamson. Forwards, back to Fox. Forwards will deliver. Oh, it's not been dealt with, and it will be fired in. And it's Frida Mornan. Arsenal's Norwegian strikes against the Norwegians. Arsenal have been ramping up the pressure very slowly, very smartly. And when they got their opportunity, they certainly took it. It's Arsenal 1, Rosenborg 0.
Yeah, it's really patient build-up as well from Arsenal, this right-hand side. I mean, the keeper's got, she's got to be disappointed with that. She's gone to, I don't know what she's gone to do, whether she's gone to palm it. I'm not too sure. There doesn't seem to be anybody around her either, really. Could have she have claimed that? Could have she have caught that? But she goes to punch it, palm it. It then drops down to Frida Mornan, who's there to pick it up for the second pieces. But from a goalkeeper's point of view, she's got to be disappointed there with the way she's dealt with that.
She'll have a bit of a suspect moment in the final minutes of the previous game against Atletico. She certainly felt she could have done better when the ball was kind of smothered between her legs and then just trickled over the line for Atletico's very, very late equaliser to take the game to penalties. She certainly hasn't covered herself in any glory there, Rulita. Arsenal buoyed by the opening goal. Can they produce a similar blitz to what they did against Rangers? Here is Caitlin Ford, and then Little just trying to dance her way through a very crowded penalty area.
When you have 11 players really behind the ball, and then you've got Arsenal bodies going in there too, it's going to be difficult, especially when these crosses are coming in. So it's important for Arsenal. They have the movement, they try to pull them apart, they're trying to find the spaces in between.
Mariona. Good cross. Plenty of time and space in midfield for her to pick her pass. Frida Mornan, the goal scorer, drifting out to the right-hand side this time. Mariona's delivery. Looking towards that back post again. Fox will keep it alive. And Williamson surely will hook this one back in. Defensive play on Mornan, who is keen to get Zinsberger involved. Good cross. Trying to spray that one over the head of Buddha. It is all Arsenal right now. Mariona, reverse pass into the feet of Mornan. Alessia Russo is running the channel again.
You're just able to watch it again here. She doesn't deal with it at all. But Arsenal, Russo and Mornan were the first two players to be alive to it. And I also think as well, it's always hard when you come up against a team who's sitting such a deep block. As the longer the game goes on, the more naturally you as a player start to worry and start to panic and start to think every chance now is getting close and close to the end. We need to put one of them away. So I think, especially when you come up against a team like this, you're going to sit deep and going to frustrate you. That first goal is so crucial because it just takes them nerves away then, and you're able to relax and think, even if we find it hard the rest of the game, we've got our one that we need and we just need to stay defensively disciplined.
Gunners were hardly troubled by Rangers on Wednesday. They want to keep doing, as Gilly rightly points out, to just get themselves back on the ball, keep playing the game at their own pace. But trying to out-muscle Little in midfield. That's easier said than done. I just wonder what it must be like to train against or play against Kim Little, especially as a defender.
Playing with her, she's one of the best because as a centre-back, she always wants the ball. So when I was playing with her at Arsenal, every time I got it, just give it to Kim, give it to Kim. She rarely turned it over. But playing against her was awful because she just didn't stop moving. And even when the ball comes to her, you think, I can nick it here. You had no chance.
It's Cooney cross. Little was making a run towards the edge of the area. She has got it. I'm sure she wanted it there, but she does retain possession. Count with Forbes. Fox. 3 Arsenal players inside the penalty area. There's one of them. Little looking to combine with Emily Fox, who has won back possession. Of course. Surrogate tried to exploit it. And again, Rosenborg, every time they win the ball back, it's almost like tired legs just allow Arsenal to get their feet back on the ball once more. Mariona, not who you want running at you when you are starting to feel the fatigue.
It's always hard when you don't have possession, so that when you do get it and you end up giving it away so early as well, it makes it difficult.
Williamson. Forward, time to look up, time to cross. Williamson now moving forward into a right back position. Little. Mariona on for Ford. Just couldn't keep it down. She really is in form. In those sorts of positions, she'll know that she could have done better.
Really good combination play from Arsenal. What's good is because I think teams from last season and especially now, when they see Arsenal get into the wide areas, they're expecting to put that cross in. So they're getting set up ready for that cross to be whipped in. So Arsenal having something different in doing the combination play, you're not expecting it as a defender. So you're really able then, as Arsenal, able to pick players off and get into those little spaces.
Especially when you look at the technicians that they have in their midfield. Embarrassment of riches in those tight areas. Godina. Forward well picked out by her compatriot, Cooney Cross. And in towards Russo. Off the top of the bar in the end. And it's the closest she's come. She was brilliantly picked out by Ford.
Yeah, really good delivery by Ford. And what is good about it is it's an early delivery. You're not allowing the defenders to get set. They're all running back. Russo gets up. She's got such a good leap on her as well. And here you see Ford, rather than driving into the space, she takes the touch, puts the ball into the box. And Russo, I think, will be disappointed there not to, see she does hit the crossbar, but not to actually get on the target.
Rodger. Trying to get their team forward above the halfway line, but it's just been given straight back to Kim Little. Here's Caitlin Ford. 4 players breaking forward for Arsenal. There's one of them. Morna, who flicked it into the path of Russo, so they're maybe slightly too far wide, and she had gone a fraction too early.
Yeah, clever play there from Arsenal as well. Good recovery from Kim Little, who wins it on the turnover. Russo, I mean, it's hard from that angle. I don't know if it's potentially her left shoulder. That side is in the offside position, but it's a really good spot from Frida Marnham to pick her out. Russo just needs to hold her run there.
Ford takes it into the path of Mornham, and this is where she is so good, running from deep. Mariona trying best to stay onside and has managed to pick out Caitlin Ford. It's another brilliant cross, but she has, again, gone slightly too early. The offside flag up on this near side.
I think you can see there as well, as soon as the ball goes out to Mariona, I mean, that she doesn't look offside to me.
It must have been for Mariona just beforehand.
But you can see as soon as she gets the ball, she's waiting for Ford at the back post to get in there. So even that partnership as well is really looking great for Arsenal.
It's an interesting one, isn't it, Chile? Because you look at this side now and you think, well, that looks to be a settled front line. But then you look on the bench, you've got Stina Bakstenis, who probably feels that she should be starting. And you've also got Beth Mee coming back from injury, who will feel that she should be starting.
Yeah, and I think that's potentially what Arsenal have lacked over the years, really, is having that depth, you know, and players it's always good to have healthy competition for any team. You know, I don't want anyone to be settled, but I think especially when it comes to the latter stage of the season, they always end up being very, very thin when it comes to push on all fronts. So I think it's crucial for them to have a squad and to have that depth, and to have players that other teams will fear when they come off the bench.
Mariona. One of 3 summer arrivals, of course. Definitely Dom Salah and Rosa Kafaji, both on the substitutes bench this evening. Okay, it's a lovely take on the run. Little time to just spring forward with that burst of acceleration, and Kim Little goes for goal. Why not?
Probably expect a bit better from Kim Little down the edge of the box, but that change of pace as well to get away from the midfielder. But like I said, you do expect from a bit better result. I think you can just able to see in that clip there, Mariona just a little bit offside. Russo just doesn't release the ball quick enough.
Morning climbs. Away by McCabe. That one is going to be picked up in the channel by Buddha. Cordina matched her every step of the way. Did slightly take her eye off that one though. Cooney Cross is back there with some incredible awareness of what's around her, and wins the foul from Beata Markussen. Williamson into the Rosenborg half. Ford. Fox there with her. This is Williamson still. Russo and Warner inside the penalty area. Penny Cross lurking as well. Ball wasn't the best by Williamson. Arsenal will hold on to possession though. Rousseau! She caught it well. It's out again, making that run into the channel.
She was able then just to get the space. She's pulled off of the centre-back shoulder there, and is able to open up, get a great strike. Always looking lively and dangerous when she's in the box. She's able to find the space to open up.
Russo gives chase again up against Hannah Dahl. As I mentioned, does have Champions League experience. She's featured in 2 previous qualifying campaigns, as well as making it to the last 32 on 2 occasions for the previous side, and Valkensnes. A real problem though, just trying to contain the right-hand side of Arsenal's attack. Williamson. Fox is much more central. She's trying to open up the space for Kim Little. And it's Cooney Cross's turn to make the run across the edge of the penalty area. That's a brilliant pass by Williamson. Ford trying to slip it back for Little. Arsenal will keep the attack alive. Fox spotted Mornham on the move. A good save this time by Rulita.
It's patient build up again from Arsenal. You see the players are trying to move, they're trying to find the spaces. Great ball from Fox there. And it's a first time effort from Frida Marnham there, but it's hard for Arsenal, especially with how Rosenborg are defending. They're very static. So that's why it's so important for Arsenal to be making them third player runs.
Set piece now for the Norwegians to worry about. In swinging, and it's deep as well. Not entirely cleared away before it is eventually smashed downfield by Sørum. Across. Lovely technique to just sweep that one outfield for McCabe. There's Ford. Mariona into Ford, looking for the return ball to the Spaniard. Mariona's into the area, and Rulita grateful, I think, that ball was just fired into her path. Good defensive work by Codina, who does win the free kick as well.
Yeah, really good work then from Codina, because she's able to get her body back in and around the ball. She's goalkeeper gets the ball, big long punt forward, trying to catch it on the break. But Codina does really well just to get across the player there, win Arsenal free kick.
It'd be quite frustrating from a Rosenborg point of view, because Codina wasn't going anywhere. They would have had a throw in deep into Arsenal's half for the first time, just to give their defence a bit of respite, but instead they're trudging back towards their own goal once more. Codina is able to carry the ball forward deep into visiting territory. Little. McCabe made the move off the left-hand side. Williamson loses possession, and that's not the worst first time through ball. Ginsberger had a good starting position. Let's see what Magnus was trying from this left-hand side. Looking for Rebecca Hoolan, their striker. Ford. Just Russo to aim for in the middle. Mornham now joining her. Ford will take the corner.
She does well there, Ford, because as you said, she gets her head up. She's just got Russo standing there in the box. She's got 5-6 defenders in and around, which will be difficult. You have to be really pinpoint with it. Does really well to win Arsenal corner there.
As before, it's McCabe and Cooney Cross stood over this one, but the switch of flank means a switch of foot, so left-footed delivery from McCabe this time. Aiming towards Russo. Williamson's there to set up Morning, which charged down very well by Beata Markusson. McCabe over the heads of Caitlin Ford, and Mariona wasn't going to get there in time.
I've really been impressed by Arsenal as well, is that when they have turned over the ball, they have lost it. They're straight in there first, their first ones around it, they're reacting to it really well. And they're not allowing Rosenborg to get hold of the ball and to build any kind of momentum.
Jonas Eidevall was very keen to emphasise how pleased he was with the Gunners' defensive showing on their last outing. Obviously, when you win by 6-0, the attackers are going to get their fair share of the spotlight, especially when one of them scores 4. But, Jenny, perhaps that's one for you and not to the defenders. Here's Mariona tracking her way through. To find Mornham, and back to Mariona. Arsenal perhaps just trying to be a bit too cute with it, but as always, they are still on the front foot. McCabe. Little. Little. Nice first time pass. Oh, and it was a great effort as well. Sailing just far. That top corner. Frida Mornham it was. Already with one goal to her name.
Yeah, that would have been a beautiful finish. And it's hard for Arsenal as well because, like I said, you have all 11 players behind the ball for Rosenborg. You have 10 players as well for Arsenal. Zinsberg is just chilling at the back on her own, but you have both centre-backs up as well. It's a tight area with a lot of bodies, so it's so important that they try and find those spaces. Like you said, try not to walk it into the net, and try not to overcook it. But at the same time, you need to move because it's a really, really low, deep block.
We've seen a few attacks in this half, Gilly, where they have been able to move the defenders around that bit more. There's another opportunity to do so. It was won by Mornham. It's hooked clear by Harviken, the captain. No, Cooney Cross with all the time in the world to just walk this ball across the pitch and find Leah Williamson, and now out wide for Emily Fox. Okay, Bursch to shoot. She goes on instead. It's Katie McCabe, and it's been charged down again by Harviken. And out for another Arsenal corner.
And what you'll notice as well is with Arsenal is that it's all well and good having the ball around the edge of the box and moving it slowly, but when it comes to that final third, that's when it needs to be done quickly.
Cooney Cross sends McCabe away. Williamson will retrieve. Here's Russo. Mariona onto her left foot. He's always rising.
Yeah, she's just leant back a little bit there, but does really well to cut it in. You think she's going to hit it on one foot, she cuts it back across to the other. Russo obviously with the first attempt here, but so calm and composed to get it and shift it onto her left foot, but just leans back slightly there.
3 more minutes for Rosenborg to hold on to this 1-goal deficit. I know that perhaps sounds like a strange thing to say, but it will allow Irvin Stroot to just reassess the tactics and maybe their approach for the second half, and it might free them up as well, knowing that they're chasing the game. Arsenal are eager to double their advantage before the break. Here's Ford, and now Little setting it up for herself to cross in. Russo was waiting. Mariona will keep this one in play. Mornham. Mariona spotted Mornham again, and that's a lovely bit of play by Russo. Ford couldn't nip in there just ahead of Hannah Dahl. Cooney Cross. Fancies it herself. Why not have a go? Fox. Back for Little. Space opens up again for Caitlin Ford. So just trying to pass their way almost into the 6-yard box at the moment. McCabe. It's gone deep, looking for Ford. Headed away by Hannah Dahl.
It's so hard for Arsenal because it's so tight in there and they're trying to make these little passes, but they're getting frustrated a little bit as well. Great little touch there from Russo. Defenders do well though to read it, see the run inside from Frida Mornham.
Cooney Cross. McCabe venturing forwards, punches that one into the feet of Mariona. Fox. Okay, wants it at the far post. Now Ford. The better of her marker, who stayed with her very well. In outness. Actually wins her side the goal kick.
Yeah, defenders as well there. Especially coming up against Ford, who, you know, she's got that change of pace, that burst of pace as well. Does really well to stand up and gets an all-important blocking at the end, and she wins her team a goal kick.
She's international teammates of Freedom Autumn, Emily Outness. Into the 2019 Women's World Cup with her, as they reached the quarter-final before England knocked them out. Well, so far, everything seems to be running quite smoothly for Jonas Eideval's side. It's Freedom Autumn's goal. Poacher's finish from close range after Michelle Rulita made a real hash of things in the Rosenborg goal. Arsenal have largely played their football in the final third, but haven't been able to grab themselves a second goal. Have been dominant though, and Manu Zinsberger has been largely untroubled in her own goal. Pretty much a bystander for the majority of that first half. At the midway points, it is Arsenal 1, Rosenborg 0. Let's take a look at the key moments from that first half then. Gillian's Mariona has been so influential from that left-hand side.
Yeah, I think she's been a bright spark for us on the left-hand side, linking up well with McCabe. Even Russo going out there, Freedom Autumn going out there as well, but positive energy, goes down one side, is able to cut inside as well. Always looking to create something when she's going forward.
Kim Little as well, heavily involved, and it was that lovely through ball to pick out Katie McCabe, who felt she should have had a penalty here, as discussed. Would have been quite generous.
I think it would have been a tiny bit soft there if that was given.
Alessia Russo started to grow into the game a lot more as it went on, and this is exactly what she loves to do. Back to goal, finding that bit of space, rattling that one wide. And Arsenal have had their joy down the right-hand side as well, and this was the key moment as Rulita really failed to clear her lines there, or even just pluck that ball out from the sky, and it was a simple tap-in the end. Yeah,
she dealt with that ball badly, you know, and I think positive from Arsenal there was that the first two players that were alive for it was Russo was putting pressure on the defender who was attempting to clear it, and then Freedom Autumn there picking up. It's a good ball in from Ford there, but keeper just doesn't deal with it at all, and Arsenal are the first to react.
From that point onwards, the Gunners continued to dominate, and again, Ford was the obvious outlet. Her early cross here being met by Russo, who couldn't keep her header down, just clipped off the top of the woodwork there.
Again, I think as with Russo, I think she'd have been frustrated there not to hit the target, not to make the keeper work. Does really well to get up, but just doesn't do enough to keep it down.
Just look at the number of Arsenal players on the edge of the penalty area here, as Russo was given an opportunity to bury that one into the far corner. Just slightly dragged her shot. Emily Fox then with an intricate pass, and Freedom Autumn desperate to double her own personal tally. This time denied by Rulita from close range. Good movement by Arsenal's Norwegian to get in behind the defensive lines. And then Kim Little combining so well to find Mornham for a third attempt. Was unable to find that top corner, but it wasn't too far away from grabbing Arsenal's second. And well worth the effort from that sort of distance. Well, there will be plenty more action, we're sure, as the game starts to open up that bit more in the second half. Rosenborg we're expecting to come out fighting in the second half and produce a performance similar to what we saw against Atletico earlier this week. But for now, we're going to have a quick break and we'll be right back for all of the second half proceedings here. But half time, it's Arsenal 1, Rosenborg 0. Thank you very much for rejoining us here at Meadow Park as we welcome both teams back onto the field. Arsenal deep in discussion in their pre-second half huddle, just waiting for the final player to come out to the pitch. Meanwhile, Rosenborg conserving all the energy that they can before the start of the second half. If it's anything like the first, Gilly, they're going to be chasing the ball quite a lot.
Yeah, well, obviously we spoke about it at half-time off air. You know, it'd be interesting to see what they do. Do they carry on sitting in a low block? But normally when a team sits like that, they offer a counter option, which they're not really offering. Or do they come out and go at Arsenal, but then there is the risk then it opens up and you sort of play into Arsenal's hands as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they go with the second half.
They do have a couple of energetic players on their bench, most notably Freya Dawson, who started the previous game. The 17-year-old, she's full of running, she's pretty quick as well. I do wonder when they will turn to her, whether this has been a case of, okay, let's just stay in the game as long as possible, and then we can bring on a counter-attacking option. We'll see what Robin Schroet has up his sleeve in this second half. Will be Arsenal to get us back underway with Alessia Russo. Cordina. And Katie McCabe. We'll get a closer look at the Mariona McCabe partnership in this second half, as it is on our side of the pitch. And for Fox. Forwards trying to help it on, dispossessed in midfield, and this is much more adventurous at the start of this second half as Burra can carry the ball forward and Cooney cross. It's a cross, a big crunching challenge, and she had to time that one right.
And I think that's so important as well from the midfield, especially Cooney cross. If Mariona and McCabe are both joining in, there is going to be a lot of space that Arsenal's left-hand side for teams to exploit. So that's so crucial there. Keep Cordina in, keep Williamson in, and if Cooney Cross can get across there and deal with it, it'll help keep that structure at the back.
Arsenal get the throw-in, winning that one off Matilda Roger. He's been a dependable performer since joining from the top flight side. Klep back in 2021, still just 23 herself. As I mentioned in the build-up to this evening's game, there are a number of young players here who presumably will view this as a bit of a shop window for themselves, although we haven't seen too much of the ball themselves, and they're about to do some defensive work here as Magnus Dottir surely will get the game's first yellow card. Holding on to Alessia Russo.
I think she has to do that there as well, because the space had opened up. Russo was really trying to get away from her. It's a 3v3 near enough along the back line. I think she'll be happy to take a yellow card there for a team.
Ford taken down. Good ball in for Russo too. It had to be pushed away by Rulita. Second smart stop that the goalkeepers had to make.
Yeah, an important stop there. Russo does really well. The ball goes out to Ford there. Good switch of play. Russo directs it, manages to keep it down, but keeper does really well to palm it away.
Arsenal corner then. They didn't use the short option in the first half. It's as though they're going to be swinging this one in towards Rulita once more. McCabe delivers, Codina climbs. Russo turns. And a free kick is awarded. Was unable to keep that one in play. There's another look at that latest Arsenal opportunity. Russo had freedom on him in there to aim for as well. Saw it a lot in the second half against Rangers, actually. It was very clear that Jonas Eideveld said to his side, look, we need to gamble and get more players into the penalty area, more targets in there. Well, that's going to become a theme of the second half as well, as McCabe has acres of space to run into. Katie McCabe looking for Russo. That was blocked on its way through. Took a deflection out for an Arsenal corner, but they could have had more.
You're just waiting to see the net burst. Katie McCabe does really well there. You think sometimes, right, I think you expect it just to whip it across the box, but she done really well to kick Russo out.
This time the Gunners do go short. Here's Kim Little. Plenty targets to aim for. Williamson shortly bundled over. It's Mariona on the volley. There's a long swipe in the end from the Spaniards.
I do think as well they've probably got every right to argue this. Kim Little gets it, picks it up. Williamson feels she has two hands straight into the back. I think she's got a fair point for a penalty there.
I think it was Simon Magnusdottir who committed the foul as well, already on a yellow card. So nice touch by Cooney Cross, and she's released Russo. Russo bearing down on goal, was looking to one back. But again, a very congested penalty area. Tilda Rogda smother it behind.
I think you see though the spaces are starting to open up. Rosenborg players are trying to push forward. It's now Arsenal making sure that they're clinical.
Cooney Cross. Oh, Williamson stayed up there. She's very powerful in the air, Leah Williamson. He scored one goal in the Champions League, but it was a header. It was against Hoffenheim a few years ago. Little checks her shoulder and sees that it's just her at the moment. Mariona. Little still there supporting, as is McCabe on the edge of the penalty area. Mariona will try and lock down the line. And then centre-back. Swept in by McKay, Ford unable to control the bounce. Gone out behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, really good delivery there from McKay. Had the pace to whip it and bend it round the back line. Just seems to bounce its way through though.
It's underneath that one. Sliding in desperately. Arsenal do get the benefit of the doubts. Williamson. Mariona. Cave on the underlap this time. Corina. His delivery was for Mariona. That's another big challenge by McKay. It's left but a bit of a heap on this near side.
It's a strong tackle there from McKay. You can see them both charging at each other. She wins the ball fair and square.
But has had to do most of her work defensively, although it was her powerful run right at the start of this second half, which very nearly led to an opportunity for Rosenborg to craft an equaliser. It's going to be okay to carry on. Arsenal will continue to attack themselves. Cooney cross. Now let's to play from her. And here is Sparrow. Shooting feet out in the end. Jilly, we alluded to it before, didn't we? They're doing so much work defensively that when they do get forward, it is often on tired legs and maybe a lack of ideas.
Yeah, I think it's hard for any team to be defending so deep as well, and then to not have that outlet necessarily is when they try to counter. They don't have the players or player to really stretch out the back line and to hold on to the ball for a little bit. As soon as they get the ball, they turn it over, and it's hard for any team, but especially when you're coming up against a team like Arsenal tonight, who are on the front foot. They're constantly wanting to attack and get more goals. It's difficult.
Ford. Also in the box to aim for. Mead watches from the sideline. Ford pushing in for Russo, just over her head. I'm wondering whether the defender got a touch at the near post just to take it away from her. Markson can try to bring this one forward, and surely the offside flag will go up against Rebecca Hoolan there. Who seems to have a good 5-yard head start on Arsenal's defence. Touch from Fox, but she was strong in the challenge. So Russo making that darting run as well against the goalkeeper Rulita.
I think a positive though for Arsenal is that Russo's had a couple of chances, but she's looked so alive as well, and she's looked dangerous when the ball has come into the box. She's very close to turning it into a goal, but it's important for Arsenal that she's bright, she looks fresh, ready for the start of obviously domestic season too.
She produced a thumping finish last time out against Rangers. The fire double, which took Arsenal from a 1-goal lead into a 3-goal advantage. She does only need a sniff of an opportunity. She's usually such a clinical finisher. This is well works. Swapped it with the ball in. So to adjust their body to get it clear. They can drag the gunners on field. Good positive play again by the Spaniards. Fortunately, not enough on the pass. Look at the yardage that she's been able to cover for Arsenal. On a defensive situation into yet another red and white attack.
I also think as well, when you see a team like Rosenborg who defended so deeply, when they actually are able to go and attack, they can actually play good football. And it's one of them ones where you think, if you just see more of them, I think it's probably the worry defensively when they are going forward, the space open up, and that's when Arsenal will be looking to punish. But they do look bright when going forward, and then potentially could make a great chance.
Russo sent away from goal. Cross. And Mariona. 2 between McCabe. Pinches the ball back away from Bura. Back to the point that you made there, Gilly. I think in the Let's Go game, what impressed most people that were watching was just how versatile and flexible Rosenborg were. So with the header, I was going to say how flexible they were going forward and how they were able to adapt. They've had to play much more defensively, and they do invite the opportunities like that for Russo to head just wide.
Yeah, again, I mean, a great ball in for Williamson. Again, Russo in a good position, but it's always going to be hard for her because she's coming away from goal. She's trying to direct it, trying to generate the power. I think as well, though, teams sit off of Arsenal because of the respect that they've got for Arsenal, the respect that they've got for their midfield and the front line, to give them that time and space in front of them, and we'll just defend nice and solid behind. But eventually, you're going to have to come out, especially when it is a knockout game.
Good cross. Cade joining the midfield. Asks Mariona to tuck in and finds Caitlin Ford, who smashes that one across the face of goal. And they're just trying to pass it out. Victor wasn't going to get there ahead of Mariona. Williamson. Or is Mariona at that back post, a yard or so ahead of her? Starting all the way out to Bogdan on this side. And there's Butter. Able to just carry the ball to a more central area. Arsenal back in their numbers though. Well picked out, Rogda. Butter again. Saru waiting for the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Be a more orthodox delivery in field. Here is Saru. It's been helped on. There's a chance for Dahl. Plenty of power behind the strike, just lacking direction.
Yeah, good patient build-up play as well on the right-hand side there. But I think this is where the worry comes for me when it comes to Arsenal, because they have so many chances, they don't put them away, and then they allow teams to get back into the game. This game realistically should have been put to bed, should be 2-3-0 at least for Arsenal, especially when you know that Rosenborg have to come out and they're going to try and score. To get a second goal will be crucial for Arsenal.
There's an hour on the clock now at Meadow Park. I'm wondering, we'll see inside of our turn to his bench, maybe some fresh legs, impetus. He's trying to force their way into his starting lineup plans. For now, no movement. Away by Little. Held up by Russo, was able to turn and find Morgan. Into the channel for Caitlin Ford. That's an excellent challenge by Amadal. You just need to be careful though, Rosenborg. Mabika. Fadal. Noutness. Making the run into the penalty area. Noutness fancy going herself. It was Markson with the strike. It is nicely over in the end. But Gilly, another example of what you were saying a moment or two ago.
Yeah, you can see it's really starting to open up as well. Rosenborg pumped the ball, planned the ball out from the back, able to beat Arsenal's press. You just see it's starting to really open up. I think both teams starting to see players are starting to look tired as well. So this next goal, if there is one to come, will be crucial for either side.
So Rosenborg will be the first team to look for changes, which I guess following their midweek exploits isn't the greatest surprise. Just starting to get more of a foothold in this game. I think, Ginny, is going to be the change I mentioned at the start of this second half. Dawson, 17-year-old striker. Ford. Now Little. Much more subdued atmosphere in the past couple of minutes at Meadow Park. This may pick up the noise again. Ford turning inside the area. Okay, wants it on the edge of the box. And Rosenborg, with every player back defending, providing an effective shield so far for Relita in this second half. Rosenborg out to watch that one closely, but I was quickly closing down. It's very closely by Markuson. Holding off Agnes Dottir. It's Arsenal who are having a tougher time trying to get themselves down the pitch. Seems like Rosenborg have found themselves a second wind. Cooney Cross though, may take that one straight out of them. She darts through the midfield to find Ford. Now Fox. Mariona. Ford. Pushing position, just taking her time to wait for the right option. All of the momentum from the Arsenal attack now gone. Ford. Up and behind for a corner kick.
It's hard because Arsenal plan these little passes, but they're not actually moving Rosenborg defensively. They're all just happy to sit behind the ball.
Fox. More direct with the cross. Gunnar wanted that one into the channel. That's where it was, the intention was at least. So a change sees Rebecca Hoolan being replaced by Freya Dawson. As mentioned, still a teenager. She's yet to open her account in this competition, but she is the leading goal scorer for them in the league. She'll add is some tireless work rates, a bit more pace, a bit more height up top as well. She's certainly a different type of threat, especially at this late stage in the game. Her dad, actually, Mikael, is a technical director at the club. He made 16 appearances for the Swedish national team during his playing career. Nickham Arsenal. Mariona back into a dangerous area. Smothered clear. Kim Little urged to shoot. She could play on the edge of the area once more. It's Fox with the attempt on her weaker side. Fox again. Just over 20 minutes remaining. The Gunners still lead by a goal to nil. The possession stats may argue otherwise. The game has certainly looked a lot closer in the last 15 minutes or so as Little gets into a good position and is charged down by Harbeacon.
I do think as well it would suit Arsenal, I think, if Rosenborg do continue to keep coming at them, because then I think defensively the spaces will be there and they'll be able to attack quickly and exploit the space that Rosenborg are leaving.
Here is a positive change for them. So, Ruben Morgan, the goal scorer, being replaced by another goal scorer. The natural one at that in Stina Blackstenius was the moment could prove to be the crucial one. Stina Blackstenius, who does have an incredible record in this stage of qualification. 7 goals and 7 assists. Little. Russo and Blackstenius on the pitch. Signal of intent from Jonas Eideveld. Here is Russo. Didn't sit for a first time, the second crashes off the bar. Cooney Cross, nice one up and off the bar again. Well, how close can you come?
It's frustrating for us. They obviously have Russo with the first attempt. I think she takes a slight deflection of the defender, hits the crossbar. And then Cooney Cross as well with the follow-up. Arsenal are edging closer as well for that second goal. Great strikes from both of them there.
Cross certainly has a taste for a spectacular goal after scoring that one against Southampton in the Gunners' final pre-season friendly at St Mary's Stadium. Innsbruck has come a long way out. To get it right, did get it right.
Yeah, it's important there from Zinsberger to be on the front foot. You can see Dawson sitting in between Williamson and Cadena. As soon as that ball broke in the midfield, she's stretching, she's going.
Markson for Dahl. Cleared. Here's Magnus Dottir. It's routine for Strun between the sticks. Comes late from Freya Dawson.
Just able to see this chance here again. Just takes a slight deflection. It's the cross, but you know what Russo wants to do, and she's got the confidence there to pull the trigger.
Cooney cross as well. And she thought, look, no one's going to close me down. I'm going to go for goal. Very nearly opening her accounts for the Gunners. Stenius. This pass in field by Mariona. Here's Russo. Fox. Here's wide for Little. There she is. Williamson's cross was a teasing one. It didn't have the runner on the end of it that it perhaps demanded. Again, Gilly, almost just seems like they're statues, doesn't it? The Rosenborg defence, they're quite happy to just sit in their defensive positions, let Arsenal have the ball in front of them. Like you said, the Gunners are moving the ball, but they're not moving the defenders around.
No, and I think they fancy themselves to deal with anything that is thrown at them from Arsenal, because if they sit behind, I know Arsenal don't have to put the crosses in, which is what they're doing. They're either overhitting it, there's not really necessarily the runners in there, but Rosenborg is set up defensively to deal with it. There's not that movement to trouble them, whereas Arsenal are better when they've got the space to counter into, and they're not set up defensively.
Medina running into Dora there, who's come off worse. It will be halted by Nikolina Diakov. What Kadina's all about. She's good on the ball, strong in the challenge. She was speaking in the build-up to this game actually about just how settled she's starting to feel now at Arsenal. She said it's probably until December where she didn't really feel like she was able to play a natural game because she didn't know the language too well. And Gilly, we know communication was such a huge part of your game. We'll come back to that in a second as Stenius can try to run the right flank. Fox back for Williamson, now Codina. Communication, especially as a central defender, is just so important, isn't it, in terms of making yourself feel comfortable in a new environment?
Yes, I mean, it's hard joining any new team, but a new team where you're finding it hard with the language. And I wasn't not overly impressed, but I think she struggled when she first came, Cadena. But I think her performances of late, especially she's grown into that position now, and you can see she's a lot more familiar and settled at the club.
Cooney cross, looking for Fox, who gives chase and does keep the ball in play. Rosenborg will put that one clear for Dawson to chase down. Into the final 15 minutes. Arsenal, at the moment, are going into the hats for Monday's round 2 draw. This game's still very, very finely poised. Fought through for Little. Just needed a final touch on it. Rousseau was running towards that far post. And just went up through the gears there, the Gunners.
Yeah, really good third player run there from Little too. But yeah, he just hoping for Arsenal to just have that player at the edge of the back of the box. Maybe potentially Mariano were coming in there. Drags it wide across the box, but just Rousseau was just a little bit too far away to get anything on it.
Godina. Cooney cross. Stenius just hovering around the penalty spots. And Rousseau to drop a bit deeper. Fort as well to get out of a tricky space at the expense of a goal kick.
I think that's been the story of the night, and how hard it's been for Arsenal to try and break down that low block. So many bodies in and around the edge of the box.
Fox. And Casey McCabe breaking forwards. And it was Rousseau who was lurking at that far post. The strike was blocked. Godina will get there first and keep it in play too. Good play by the Spanish defender, Blackstenius. Okay, Rousseau back to goal. Held up by Harviken. Arsenal will try their luck down the other way. Mariona. Another Arsenal corner. That was a high-profile arrival, of course. Mariona Llorente, 3-time Champions League winner with Barcelona. I'm surprised to see she has her own, very own fan club at tonight's game. Good by Cooney, cross, and it was cleared off the line. Williamson thought that one had gone in.
I'll be honest, after got in as well, I was waiting to see the ball hit the back of the net. Williamson was complaining of a handball.
Instead, it's an Arsenal corner again. Cooney cross, same thing. It's clear at the near post, this time by Harviken. Williamson making himself busy defensively. And missed out to Mariona, who is a scrapper. She's done well there to win her team. Free kick in another dangerous position.
Yeah, does really well there to keep battling to earn Arsenal a free kick in a dangerous position.
Two very experienced changes here. One, Peyton Fords coming off. Beth Meads coming back from her injury. Leah Belty, who is herself returning from a spell on the sidelines, but he's been getting fairly regular minutes in certainly towards the tail end of pre-season, and then against Rangers as well. In place of Kyra Cooney-Cross, so this is Shieldy playing the shielding role. Beth Mead will be hoping to attack this delivery in from Katie McCabe. Here is Beth Mead, first touch to find Rousseau. Fox staying forwards, and Mariona finds Kim Little, kicked in towards the far post. Mariona was lurking there too. Godina. Rousseau. For Stenius inside the area.
I think you see those with Arsenal sometimes just they're trying to make one too many passes there. Just feeding into the opposition's hands.
Another change for the visitors. This is quite interesting for Arsenal fans watching from home. 15-year-old Kana Serdal coming on. As mentioned in the build-up to the game, she was born in 2008, so after Arsenal won this competition years ago, and also 2 years after Kim Little made her own Champions League debut with Hibernian. Mead. Little. I'm really impressed with Bulla's fitness during this game. She's been up and down this right flank so often, the out ball. It's like the quality in the final delivery, but not fault the work rate. There she is again.
I think that's to be expected though, when you're going up and down as much as she has in this game. Something's got to give. Obviously, it's just the unfortunate, it's the technical side of things. When she does get into Arsenal's defensive third, just falls short.
Williamson. A huge attendance here yet again. A reminder that when the Women's Super League season starts up again, the opening day match against Manchester City will be played at Emirates Stadium. Tickets are still available on the Arsenal website and Arsenal app, so please get involved, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. A nice early kick-off as well. Okay. It's the final 5 minutes. Stenius. Vivaldi gets possession away, but look how quickly Godina and Little were on it, although Rosenborg have runners coming forward. Here's Nautness. Trying to catch Sinsberger off guard. Easily patted down by the goalkeeper.
And I think that's just the decision-making as well, which they fell short on. No, if you're not going to get many opportunities up against a team like Arsenal, especially with how you've probably played in the first 50, 60 minutes or so, those chances are few and far between, so you have to make better decisions.
Sinsberger's decision there was to clear our lines. Beth Mead's giving it straight back to Nautness. was good play. Fox, just to leave a bit of pressure on the Arsenal back line. They don't want to be making mistakes. They don't want to be inviting any additional stress, especially at this late stage of the game. We saw what happened to Atletico on Wednesday. 89th minute it was that Rosenborg were able to strike. Smart decision on the other side of though, actually, to bring on Liavelti, someone who is so good at holding on to the ball. Medina certainly fancies herself in that role too. Arsenal come forward with Russo. Mariona into the area. It's a good ball back. Mead will feel he should have at least worked the keeper. A long way in field to join the attack.
It's really good patient build-up play as well. Godin on this left-hand side. Russo making that third player run. Good interchange of positions with Mead coming right in. But like you said, she should be doing better there as well. She'd be expecting to do better herself. At least work the goalkeeper from that distance.
Challenge was coming in by Matilda Rogda. So you have to be alert to the post again. This latest Arsenal surge with Little queuing up, weren't they, inside the penalty area. Mariona, Blackstenius and Russo. Arsenal captain couldn't find any of them. And that by Williamson. Without meaning to tempt fate, as things stand, Arsenal are heading into round two. Get more convincing though. Escapes for a corner kick. It's going to be a two-legged affair in the next round. Over the following 2 weeks to decide the final 12 Champions League group stage spots. The automatic group stage entrance already, of course. Barcelona, Lyon, Bayern and Chelsea. They're waiting to find out who their opponents are going to be. Arsenal tonight, though not as clinical as they were on Wednesday, are taking a significant step closer to that group stage. McCabe delivers. Near post again. Lulita didn't look convincing from a ball into the box. Williamson sends it long. Oh, it's a great pick out as well. Blackstenius couldn't keep the effort down.
I didn't think she expected to be in that much space, completely unmarked. But I think you said, I think she would struggle to have kept it down anyways.
2 minutes left on the clock, Gilly. What learnings can we take about this Arsenal side for the upcoming season from this match?
I think they've done really well in being patient at times, but also, you know, I think for them they need to get better at when the team they are coming up against is in a low block. How do we solve that? How do we keep them moving? How do we draw the defence and create those spaces? they've looked dangerous when there's been the spaces to attack into. I feel like sometimes they've just lacked that plan B when a team has been set behind them.
To show their focus defensively here. Lifted forward, and we're so happy to watch that one go out for Arsenal goal kick into the final minutes. Stick close to Arsenal.com, the Arsenal sort of Arsenal women's social media channels to find out more information about the draw on Monday, and also all of the reaction to tonight's game as well. Lena gives chase. As we'll keep it in play. Melty tracked back diligently there, but her pass has been given away. And this is going to be an interesting climax to this evening's game. Behind the league leaders, so an unhappy season for Morgan Schroot in his first in full charge. He took interim charge beforehand, but that will do it. The Gunners have done enough. Perhaps they wanted to add a bit more gloss to the scoreline. The dominance of this game certainly deserved it, but all that matters is that they picked up the win, and those supporters there can head home happy. Breeda Morden's instinctive poacher's finish is enough to put the Gunners into the hat for the next stage of this competition. The draw takes place on Monday. They will find out who they'll be playing in a two-legged tie to determine whether or not they'll be competing in the group stage of the Champions League this season, I should say. Next month in October is when it begins. They've taken a step further than they did this time last season. They banished those horrible memories of playing against Paris FC with a dominant showing here. Jelly, your final takeaways from tonight's game?
I think it was a difficult game for Arsenal. They always looked like they was in control, but frustrating game for them. I think they would have liked to get more goals on the record, but for them it's the main important thing is that they got through this stage and they got through to the next round.
We're starting as well, aren't we, to see those combinations, those connections on the pitch too.
Yeah, I think they looked really good going forward. We see obviously the connections in the Rangers game, obviously coming from left to right, right to left, but yeah, they look really good tonight, Arsenal. They look like they've got a strong 11, and they've got players as well coming off the bench who can impact and change the game for them too.
Well, thank you very much to Ginny for joining us for today's game and for all of your analysis throughout. And of course, thank you to you for joining in as well. As mentioned, stay close to Arsenal.com and the Arsenal app for full details of who Arsenal pull in the next round of qualification. But for now, at Meadow Park, it finishes Arsenal 1, Rosenborg 0.